Well, good afternoon, folks. Hopefully everyone is having a good Saturday so far. Now we do have a severe thunderstorm warning. This is for Monroe County, just north of Forsyth. This also encompasses Jones County and the southwestern part of Jasper County. The reason why we have this severe thunderstorm warning is because the National Weather Service has indicated it within their radar of quarter-size hail just north of Forsyth. So let me pause this radar loop right now. And let's go make it current right here. So we have a strong thunderstorm just north of Forsyth that just passed I-75 as of right now. It's moving eastward at a speed of 25 miles per hour. And as I mentioned, the reason why we have the severe thunderstorm warning is because of the hail. So let me put on the hail parameter core, and it looks like the core has actually decreased, but let me go back. Oh, there we go. So in the past 10 minutes, we had a really strong updraft that produced some strong hail. And we're seeing values way larger than an inch. Let's see there, 1.3 inches, so definitely over a quarter sized. The good news is it's dissipating, and right now we don't have any impressive hail cores at the moment. We see it around dime-sized or maybe penny-sized at the moment, just a little bit west of Juliet. So that's really good to see. And it just means that the overall intensity of the storm is decreasing, but we're still seeing strong rain over much of the Monroe County area, especially East Monroe County, Lake Juliet, Berner getting a really strong rain at the current moment and strong pockets of lightning. We're also seeing rain just south of Monticello and Round Oak. So very encouraging stuff so far. Once again, this warning was because of the large hail core that is now small at the moment, but for a brief period it was over an inch, so quarter sized, but now we're seeing more penny sized hail near the Juliet area. Let's check out the winds, see if there's anything impressive right now. Let's take out the warning box just to check out the values of the winds. Seeing around 35 miles per hour at the moment. Nothing really that impressive, but still gusty. Let's check out some other values in terms of the wind parameter. 38, let's see, 36 mile per hour wind. So a strong thunderstorm nevertheless, but nothing in terms of severe levels. Once again, the category within the storm that reached severe levels was the hail, but once again, that has decreased. So encouraging stuff. But once again, this storm is moving towards the east at 25 miles per hour. So I think North Jones County is going to get much of the storm in the next hour. Round Oak potentially could see heavy downpours and potentially penny-sized hail around the next hour. So let's play the radar loop. Let's see the overall behavior of the storm. And you can see that it was two cells that conjoined with another cell that's right now in Jasper County. So once again, seeing that the storm joined forces with another cell, and we're seeing now one large cell that's about to go into Jones County. But what we're seeing is that much of Bibb County is out of this storm at the current moment. Still seeing a couple sprinkles for East Bibb County. And we also have a storm in Crawford County. Once again, much of the activity from the severe thunderstorm is within Monroe County at the moment, around the Juliet area. Let's go back to the hail. Let's see if the hail core changed in the past couple of minutes. Okay, still around penny size. It gains some size in the past couple of minutes, but nothing in terms of what it once was 10 minutes ago. Seeing another hail core in Jasper County, especially in the south area of Jasper County. Going back to the radar loop, seeing someone saying, what about Eatonton? I think Eatonton could see some storms in the next hour or so, but I don't think it's going to be as strong as what Monroe County is facing at the current moment. So let's zoom back And let me tell you, much of this activity overall for central Georgia has been towards the north, for the northern counties. Places south of I-16 not seeing anything, and that's really been the case all throughout the day. And this is all due to a cold front. And you can see this defined line right here, almost spring-like in nature. Let me point out where the cold front is. Here you go. So ahead of the cold front, you can see the storms, and you can also see the storms going as far north as Athens. And this is the reason why the Georgia game has been delayed for many hours. I don't know if they're resuming. I'd say it wouldn't be good if they're resumed as of right now. We still have some lightning in the area. But once again, this is all due to a defined cold front, which is pretty rare for the summertime, even though we're in the late summer stage where we're going to see a lot more large-scale weather patterns. But this is not your typical pop-up stuff where we see isolated to scattered thunderstorms. This is more widespread stuff. And once again, the widespread stuff is right now towards the west and the north half of central Georgia. So if you're watching within any of those counties, such as Pulaski County, Dodge County, Crisp County, Telfair, or Wheeler, and you're wondering what really is going on because the weather is actually quite okay and decent over in those areas, really dry at the moment. Once again, much of the activity is just towards the north and towards our west, so north of I-16. So in the next coming hours, this cold front is going to continue to move towards the east. Sorry about that. That was a failed attempt at an arrow. But anyways, let me put the radar loop just to show you the overall behavior of these storms and the movement. We'll see the storms joining together and making a widespread line. It's moving towards the east. So I think Macon could potentially see some storms as well in the next hour. People are asking about Lake Sinclair. That is a potential, or that is a possibility, especially in the next couple of hours. Warner Robins later tonight. That is also a possibility. I think Warner Robins could see potentially a storm or two in the next couple of hours. So let me put on the future view just to show you what the models are thinking. So there's the future view right now, doing a pretty good job of matching what the radar is showing. Not as active as what the future view shows, but still showing that confined line. Location's actually quite on the money. And what the future view shows is it's going to continue to move towards the east. So going to get Macon, places. Someone just asked about Warner Robins. Warner Robins going to get some rain and storms. And then this model indicates that the places that are dry right now could see some rain and storms. Someone asked Bleckley County. This model shows Bleckley County getting some rain and storms. And then it has it dissipating a little bit by 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. And we could see some lingering showers and storms just towards our east. But overall, the models say that much of the activity should wind down by 8 to 9 o'clock once the sun sets, which is also typical with a spring-like system like this. Obviously, it's not spring, but we typically see large-scale weather patterns like this, like these types of cold fronts, like in March or in April. So this is the reason why we're seeing widespread stuff. And once again, we could see much of central Georgia receiving thunderstorms and rain over the next couple of hours. So let's go back to the radar, see what this severe thunderstorm is doing at the moment. And now we have seen an update to the polygon, and it's actually decreased in size, still encompassing, once again, the border between Jasper, Jones, and Monroe County. So that's typically a good sign. It potentially means that the National Weather Service is not really thinking in terms of extending the warning. Right now, the expiration time for this warning is around 5:45. Let me pause it here. So as of right now, still heavy rain for the northeastern end of Monroe County. Seeing a heavy downpours for Juliet and Berner. We can also see the western border of Jones County receiving a lot of rain at the moment. Let's see what the hail cores, the current size of the hail cores. All right, we're not seeing any hail cores anymore from Monroe County. So once again, the whole purpose of the severe thunderstorm warning was because of the hail core. Let me go back a little bit. There you can see a large hail core just north of Forsyth 20 minutes ago. This was definitely over a quarter sized. Now we're seeing much more penny-sized hail, but not for Monroe County, but for Jasper and for Putnam County. So now our only hail cores are just southeast of Monticello and west of Eatonton and north of Stanfordville. Let's see the official size. Okay. Half an inch in Putnam County, a little bit just under half an inch in the eastern half of Jasper County. But we're not seeing anything over an inch, which was present just north of Forsyth a little bit ago. So encouraging at the moment, but of course we never want to see hail, but the hail sizes are decreasing. Let's check in with the winds. There you take off this warning box right here. All right, seeing 22 mile per hour winds just south of Juliet. Once again, this is where we're seeing the heaviest of the rain and the heaviest of the lightning activity. 35 miles per hour just north of Bolingbroke. And then just east of Forsyth, 28 miles per hour. So not necessarily seeing impressive wind gusts, still gusty no matter what, but nothing in terms of seeing any severe level wind gusts, which means 60 mile per hour winds or over. Thankfully, we're not seeing that. So I do expect to see this severe thunderstorm warning to expire once we reach 5:45, maybe a little bit earlier. Let's see what the National Weather Service has to say about that. Okay, so from the National Weather Service chat, they have not mentioned anything about ending the warning early, even though in my opinion I think we should, because we're not seeing any severe stuff anymore. And for context, the severe thunderstorm warning was because of the large hail core just north of Forsyth. Now we're not seeing any hail anymore from Monroe County, just in Jasper and Putnam County, but those hail cores are just penny sized at the moment. Okay. Nevertheless, we're seeing heavy rain, strong lightning for South Jasper near Berner. Juliet seeing heavy lightning there, heavy rain as well, especially as we get into the western end of Jones County. And also this storm right now is also catching my eye for the western half of Putnam County. We're seeing a strong lightning core there, and this is around the location where we're seeing that hail core. So something to watch out for in the next couple of minutes. Hopefully we don't see anything increase in strength or increase in size. But seeing a strong storm right now just south of Jasper, for the southern end of Jasper County and Putnam County. So let's see the radar activity, the behavior of the storm. Notice it joined together over the past 30 minutes, and it's heading straight to Eatonton. So for the residents of Eatonton, I bet you're hearing those rumbles of thunder as of right now. And I expect to have some downpours in the next couple of minutes and some lightning as well. Once again, for the residents of Eatonton, they're about to get some storms as of right now. Not severe, just a strong storm. Could be something that could resemble a strong storm that we typically see in the summertime. But we could potentially see some penny-sized hail for those areas. And honestly, based off what I'm seeing, this storm at the moment, even though it doesn't have a severe weather tag, just like this storm right now in Monroe County and Jones County, I think this storm is stronger than the storm right now in Monroe County. I think, once again, once we get closer to 5:45, we should be close to having this tag expire. All right, let's check back on the hail core. All right, so no hail anymore in Monroe County. Now seeing a larger hail core for Putnam County, not for most of Putnam County, but for areas east of Eatonton. Just under ½ an inch in terms of hail size. So that could potentially affect the residents of Eatonton. Let's go back to the future view. Seeing more people ask about their locations. So once again, these storms are all due to a cold front. So for those of you who remember, these cold fronts are more prevalent in the springtime where they have more widespread stuff. Right now this cold front is towards our northwest, but that's going to push farther towards the east. So places, once again, like Warner Robins and Fort Valley, I do expect y'all to see potentially a couple storms and showers in the next couple of hours. So here's what the future view says, and this is what I believe is going to happen. So once again, as these storms push eastward, we're going to see once again that line move into areas that haven't received much rain. It's going to go into Macon, Warner Robins, and then, as someone mentioned, potentially Fort Valley. It's all happening in the next hour or so. And then the future view calls for these storms to dissipate once we get around the sunset hour. And then we could get a little bit more showers just east of our viewing area. Now, I don't think I buy that. I think the main uncertainty for later tonight is, will these storms hold past sunset? And this model right now has it dissipating a little bit before or a little bit after sunset, which could bring drier weather for places such as Telfair County, Wheeler County, and Montgomery County. Now, of course, yeah, how long does the Georgia game starts back up? That's important. That is a very important question, too. That Georgia game has been delayed for a lot of time now. So right now, let's see the radar. Let's see what the storms are doing right now for Athens. So the good news for Georgia fans is that the bulk of this front is now moving due east of Athens. So the worst of the rain and storms has already affected Athens, and we're seeing rain dissipate around the Athens area. So I think right around now, if they haven't done so already, they should resume activity. I think the worst is past Athens as it continues to move eastward into South Carolina. So Georgia should resume. In my opinion, I think they should resume now. But for central Georgia, we're still getting ready for much of the activity. Notice once again, all of this is associated with this cold front, as we're starting to see a lot more organization. And if we do something called nowcasting, For the people asking about Fort Valley and Warner Robins, now we're seeing some showers and storms, just like what the Future View is saying, like what it showed a couple of minutes ago. We're starting to see that organization right here. And I do expect some rain and maybe some storms for the next hour or so. I think this line will eventually move into Houston County and Peach County. What about Macon? Same thing. Actually, the western part of Bibb County is receiving some storms. This is the same storm that moved over Roberta. Now it's going into Bibb County and potentially Macon. It looks like this storm, let's see the behavior of this storm in terms of the path. We go back past 2 hours. There we go. So notice that storm popped up. It's now going over Lizella. And it's going to move due east. So it's going to move over 475. Let me do a little bit of zooming in. So I think it could go over potentially Eisenhower. About to go over Lake Tobosofsky. And maybe it could reach downtown Macon. It all depends on, let me do the pointer thing. Trying to do my selection tools right here. Okay, so it all depends on if this storm joins with this storm. If those two storms join together like what we've seen other storms do, then I'd say the entirety of Macon could receive rain and storms in the next hour. And then, of course, same thing goes for Warner Robins. And I remember someone asked me about Fort Valley 20 minutes ago or 10 minutes ago. Well, now they're seeing a shower at the current moment. And then once again, we're seeing rain go over Macon County, seeing a couple of lightning strikes just south of Taylor County, once again into Macon County. And then, of course, the severe thunderstorm warning. I really don't think it's a severe thunderstorm anymore. The National Weather Service once again said that storm was due to large hail, but now we're starting to see most of the hail in Putnam County. We're not seeing any hail in Monroe County or any hail associated with this storm that is moving into Jones County at the current moment. Any updates on the Georgia game? It is 5:38 and we are waiting. So I went over the weather in Athens, and once again, these storms are due to a cold front, so it's producing a line of storms. That's the reason why this Georgia game was canceled, or not canceled, sorry, delayed for a long period of time. But now the storms are just east of Athens. So the worst has already happened for Athens, and in my opinion, I think the Georgia game should be really close to resuming. So once again, let's look back at the future view. All right, let's see someone saying Jones County. Jones County, once again, especially the western end of Jones County, are receiving showers and lightning at the current moment. I do think this storm is going to continue to move eastward. Round Oak, if you're close to Round Oak, I think you'll be receiving rain very soon. In terms of what's going to go on for Gray, I think Gray could be clipped by the southern end of the storm, and you could receive some showers and some storms. I don't think you'll have as strong winds as what Monroe County received, but once again, you'll be receiving potentially rain very soon. So let's go back to the future view. And it's doing a pretty good job on matching what the radar shows. And the future view shows a line of rain and storms continuing to move towards the east. So it's continuing to indicate, once again, places like Macon, Houston County, Warner Robins, to receive rain and storms and then dissipate around sunset. Now, that's a good question, Isabella. Anything major or just light rain? I don't think we're going to see anything major. Maybe a couple of storms that could produce a large hail core out there, but I don't think we're going to see winds of over 60 miles per hour. I really don't think we're going to see that. I'd just say I think we could have maybe a loud thunderstorm here or there, but it's not something unordinary in terms of what we haven't seen so far this summer. So I don't really think we have to worry about any of these storms for the rest of the day. All right, East Dublin. So the models are doing something interesting in terms of what the rain is going to do, especially places like Lawrence County. So around sunset, the line of rain and storms have the potential to dissipate before reaching Lawrence County. Now, I don't know if it's going to do that. I have a little bit of doubt. Meteorologically speaking, this could be due to the loss of energy, just due to the lack of heat because of the sunset. But I will say the chances of Lawrence County receiving rain and storms are lower than Warner Robins receiving rain and storms. But if you do see storms, it would be around 9 to 10 o'clock, if you do see anything. Caleb Deaton, Roberta's had the storm, I'd say, in the past hour. But I'd say the worst of the activity is behind you. That storm that gave you some trouble earlier, now it's going into Bibb County. It's moving over to Lizella, and it's going into Lake Tobosofsky. But once again, I'd say the worst potentially is behind you. Notice with that radar scan, the worst of the storms is now going into Lizella. It's now actually growing in size. So I think this potentially could impact Macon in the next hour. Okay. When will the rain reach Milledgeville? Well, actually, North Milledgeville is receiving rain at the moment, but I think much of the activity is going to come in the next hour or two, and I think it will be associated. Let me bring out the pointer once again. It's going to be associated with this core right here. But in terms of the rain, Milledgeville is actually receiving some rain just north of the town. Anyone else have phobia of thunder? I totally relate to that. I had phobia of thunder as a kid, but I'm here to tell you we're not expecting anything crazy tonight. I promise you. It will just be a typical thunderstorm. I don't expect to see anything that will make us concerned. All right, so we are now at around 5:44. Actually, it's 5:45 at the moment. So this is the exact time when the severe thunderstorm warning is supposed to expire. We haven't seen a new warning pop up. So I expect this to completely disappear in the next couple of seconds. Let me see the chat, if they have said anything. All right, it's 5:46, saying nothing. And this could be our system, our computer, taking a little bit more time to calibrate to what's going on. And there you go, there you go. You have the polygon officially disappear. So we now don't have any severe thunderstorm warnings right now in central Georgia. And that's a good thing. But of course, the main story is the front now getting closer to central Georgia, and that's bringing much of the widespread rain and storms into our area. So once again, I'd say Macon and Warner Robins, you can expect some showers and storms in the next couple of minutes to an hour. Let me zoom in. And this will once again be associated with these rain and storms right over here. It's moving towards the east into areas such as Houston County and Bibb County. So now it's 5:47. So I'm going to hop off and I'll be back. Oh, actually, well, there we go. We have another severe thunderstorm warning right there for the northern end of Putnam County. This is until 6:15. So I'm going to hop off. We have an extended forecast at 6 o'clock. So I'm going to be on for at least 10 minutes or more. It all depends on how long this warning lasts. And then I'll be back at around 7:30. But don't worry, once again, in terms of the coverage for the severe thunderstorm warning in Putnam County, I'll be back at around 6 o'clock. So see you soon, and stay safe, and have a beautiful night.